Hey everybody, it's Calvin Hagen with HagenInternational.info, bringing you episode 3 of Internet Lifestyle versus Excuses. Okay? Now, I've enjoyed talking about the other two, but today I'm going to talk a little bit. In fact, I'm going to sit down today because this is going to be a little bit longer. And I'm going to tell you a story about, this one is one of the most amazing ones I have, about somebody who certainly had more excuses and reasons for excuses than anybody I'd ever met. Back a while back when I was doing old school network marketing, and I loved it. Don't mind the kids in the back; they're playing on the trampoline. It's all good. It's all part of being able to work wherever I want to work from, whenever I want to work from. So there was a 7-Eleven near where I lived. And I would show up at all different hours of the day, dressed in all different ways, sometimes in a suit, sometimes not in a suit, didn't matter time of day, no schedule or rhyme or reason to any times that I came. And this guy used to sit in front of the 7-Eleven. He was there almost every time I showed up, asking for quarters, dollars, whatever else. Sometimes I'd give him a little bit of money. Sometimes I would buy him a little bit of food. Whatever he wanted, it didn't matter. I was generous of heart with what I did with him, and he was there, and he was always polite and always gracious, always. And then one day, I guess I was carrying something that had to do with my work or my presentation with me, and he saw me and he said, I see you coming by here all the time, and you're always different times of the day, dressed differently. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or rhythm to it. It's like, what do you do in your life that just allows you to come and go as you like? And I thought, that's a pretty perceptive question. And I said, well, I'm a network marketer. I market in MLM. I'm in a company that basically, my schedule is my own. I work when I want, from where I want, and I do what I want when I want. And he said, wow, that sounds really cool. He says, how would somebody get into something like that? Could you tell me about it? And I said, dude, I see you sitting over here every day. You're gracious, you're nice and all that, but, my time has a lot of value. Why would I want to sit down and spend time with you right now, sitting here? You're in front of 7-Eleven every day asking for money, and explain to you what I do for a living, because, you don't seem to be somebody in a position to be able to get up and come do it. And he said to me, and I'll never forget this, he said, I know I'm homeless here and I'm sitting here and I'm begging for money, but I wasn't always this way. I was a top salesperson with a leading company, and I was doing very well. In fact, I was doing so well that me and the boys, we all started getting into a lot of drugs and drinking, and we were partying a lot, and I couldn't control it. And I became addicted to cocaine, alcohol, and other drugs. I just was addicted to the whole life. And I watched my life crumble. I lost my job. I spent my savings. I lost my house. I lost everything I owned. And about a year ago, I'm coming up on a year sober. And me being sober as well, this touched me, because I'd quit drinking and drugging some years before. And he said, I'm coming up on a year sober. I'm in a halfway house. We're working on it. I'm working on improving my life and getting myself ready to go back out there again. And I'm now looking for different opportunities and ways that I can rebuild my life. And I said, okay, well, that sounds cool. In fact, that sounds really cool. So I said to him, I'll tell you what, you're here. You know what? Before I sit down and talk to you about this, I'm going to be straight up for you. If you like what I show you, it costs a little bit of money to get into it, and I never put the money up for anybody, no matter how impressed or not I am about them. I'm not a charity, okay? And he said, I get that. And he said, how much does it cost to get in? I said, well, the business I'm doing right now, the minimum to start and be a business partner is $125. He said, okay. I said, how long will it take you to have $125 asking for quarters and dollars and whatever else you're doing in front of this 7-Eleven when you're asking and getting money, whatever amounts of ways people give you money? He says, it'll take me 3 days. And he didn't hesitate. He said, it'll take me 3 days. I said, okay, I'll be back on day 4, and I'll have some time, and I'll sit down and I'll show you exactly what we do and how we do it, and you can see whether or not this is for you. But I said, but I'm not going to sit down with you unless you can show me that in cash, or you got a card you've already put it on. He said, okay. Well, on the 4th day, I showed back up, and I walked up, And I'd actually shopped somewhere else for 3 days because I didn't even want to bump into him. I didn't want to hear his excuses or bullshit. I wanted to wait until the 4th day and walk in and see what he'd done. And I came in the 4th day and he said, "Hey, Kelvin, where you been?" I said, "I've been busy. I've just been busy." And he said, "Okay, how is it?" I said, you got the money?" He says, "I got that and a little bit more because, I figured I might need a little bit more shipping or whatever." Good thing. I'd forgotten about shipping costs. My bad, right? Because this was a product, a consumable. So he showed me the money. He hadn't gotten into a card yet. He had 150 cash. I said, "Okay." And I sat down and I showed him what we do. And you know what? This guy could have had excuses. He could have had reasons not to do this, reasons to think I should help him get it. Because a lot of people think, "Oh, I got sober. The world owes me." The world doesn't owe anybody anything, right? So I sat down, I showed him what I did and how I did it. He said, "Man, that looks a lot easier than what I used to do." And he said, "Man, a lot of the people that I used to know, I'm still in touch with a few of them. A few of them have just said to me, when you get yourself back together, let us know. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know if I can be of any help." So the guy did it. We went and we got him a prepaid Visa card. He signed up. And this homeless guy, living right off the streets. He's living in a homeless shelter in L.A. God help him, right? Started to do this business. He got himself a cheap cell phone, and he started to do the business. And I got to tell you, in a few months, he'd earned enough money to get himself an apartment. He was doing really well. He was working himself up in the company. People were seeing who he was and who he'd been in the past. He wasn't telling anybody that he'd been homeless yet. He was saving that story for after he was successful. And he was going to have a story. Boy, was his story going to be fun. I was so looking forward to that story from stage. And it was about 5 months later, unfortunately, and it's a tough thing. Unfortunately, he started to use again. And his life went downhill. I don't know where he is now or what he's doing. I hope he's alive. I hope he got himself back together again. But that's not what the story was about. The story is about whether or not you make excuses in your life or you take action in your life. And if a homeless guy living in a shelter in down near Skid Row, Los Angeles, can come up with $150 in 3 days, then your excuses are invalid. They're just excuses. They're reasons that you fail, or you can choose to succeed. He chose to succeed. He wasn't ready yet. His disease got the best of him. But this is one more story in my story in a series that I'm going to do here about excuses in life. And about the people that I know that have risen above their excuses, taken control of their lives, and marched forward into amazing, amazing things in their life. Some of them keep marching, some don't. But what's your excuse? Do you have an excuse that's holding you back? An excuse that you're calling your valid reason for not doing something or being somewhere you want to be? So I love what I'm doing. Right now, I got no excuses. Everything that I've done in the past came and led me to this day. I'm with a company that is heart-centered. They care, so I care what they teach. Okay? You want to talk about an amazing journey. I'll tell you what, I'm Kelvin Hagen. You can find me on Facebook. I'm with HagenInternational.info. You can find what we do there. And I invite you to look me up. Or if you've seen this video because somebody else posted it, then don't go to my link. Go to whatever link they have and look what we're doing. Because I'm telling you, your excuses are invalid and not necessary. Let's march forward into total success together. Absolute abundance. So find the link around this. Click on it. Come say hi. Peace.